reduce camera check blurring, reduce camera check blurring. By the way, Photoshop features an intelligent mechanism to automatically reduce image blurring caused by camera motion, and if necessary, you can adjust advanced setting to further sharpen the image. And the check reduction filter in the filter. A sharpen menu can reduce blurring resulting from several types of camera motion, by the way, including linear motion and arc and shaped motion, rotational motion and zigzag motion, like this screenshot now. This screenshot now is explained for you now. We have original image in the left side, and we have image after camera check reduction in the right side. And using the camera check reduction filter and images suitable. What is the images suitable for camera check reduction? By the way, the camera check reduction feature works best with decently lit still camera images having low noise, and the following types of still images are particularly suitable for check reduction: indoor or outdoor images captured using a lens with a long focal length, and indoor images of a static skin takes with a slow shutter speed and no flash. And in addition, check reduction can help sharpen blurred text in images affected by camera motion, by the way. And how to use automatic camera check reduction. How to use automatic camera check reduction. You should open this image firstly, and step number 2, select filter and then select sharpen, then select check reduction. And actually, Photoshop automatically analyzes the region of the image best suited for a check reduction and determines the nature of the blur and extrapolates and the appropriate corrections to the entire image. And the corrected image is displayed, by the way, for your review in the check reduction dialog. And the detail loop in the lower right pane lets you closely examine the region in focus, and if necessary, zoom in or zoom out. Zoom in or zoom out on an image element, and as you drag the hand tool over the detail loop to examine an image region, and release the mouse button to see a quick preview of the check reduction changes for that region. Note and be careful here now. If no corrections seem to be applied to the image in the check reduction dialog, ensure that the preview option in the right pane is enabled. And how to use multiple blur traces for camera check reduction. By the way, a blur trace represents the shape and extent of the blur that affects a selected region of the image, and different regions of the image may have differently shaped blurs, and automatic camera check reduction takes into account the blur trace for just the default region of the image that Photoshop has determined as most suitable for blur estimation. To further fine-tune the image, you can have Photoshop compute and consider blur traces for multiple regions. And available blur traces, by the way, are listed in the advanced panel of the check reduction dialog, and you can also click a blur trace to zoom in or zoom out. And multiple, this image is explained for you, multiple blur traces listed in the advanced panel, and how to create and modify blur traces. By the way, Photoshop provides several ways to create and modify blur traces, and for best results, you should create blur traces in regions of the image that have edge contrast. For example, the region labeled A in the restoration preview is better suited for blur estimation than the region labeled B. Like this screenshot now, we have A and P here now, and Dewey, the texture contrasts. A is more suitable for blur estimation than P. And how to resize or reposition the boundaries of the current region in focus. By the way, you can simply resize the boundaries of the region in focus to update the associated blur trace, and to shift focus to a different region, drag the center pin of the region currently in focus. And have Photoshop suggest a new region for blur estimation, And we have two steps here now. Step number one, you should click the add suggested blur trace icon, and in the advanced panel in the right pane, Photoshop by the way highlights a new region of the image suitable for blur estimation and creates its blur trace. Step number two, you should to add more blur traces if necessary, and then click trash can icon, like to delete one or more selected blur traces, and manually select a new image region. You have three steps. You should to click the blur estimation tool icon in the upper left corner of the check reduction dialog, and step number two, you should to draw a selection rectangle anywhere on this image, and Photoshop automatically creates a blur trace for the region you selected. And step number three, you should to add more blur traces if necessary. And how to create a blur trace using the blur direction tool. How to create a blur trace using the blur direction tool. We have many steps. Step number one, you should to select the blur direction tool, this icon now from the left panel. Step number two, you should to draw a straight line representing the blur direction on the image, and if necessary adjust the blur trace length and blur trace direction, like a screenshot now. Blur trace length and blur trace direction. And how to modify a blur trace using the detail loop. How to modify a blur trace using the detail loop. We have steps here now again. Step number one, you should using the detail loop focus on a new image region suitable for camera check reduction. And step number two, you should click the enhance at loop location icon to move focus in the left pane to the region highlighted in the detail loop, and the blur trace for the region displayed earlier in the detail loop is automatically updated. And the keyboard shortcut Q lets you duck or unduck the detail loop, like a screenshot now. Modify a blur trace using the detail loop, and how to preview and apply multiple blur traces. By the way, once you have added the required blur traces, you can select one or more blur traces in the advanced panel to apply them to the image. And how to preview and compare the results of two blur traces. By the way, with the control key if you use Windows, or command key if you use macOS, you should to hold down and then select the blur traces in the advanced panel, and Photoshop actually displays the multiple preview pane for the selected blur traces anyway, like a screenshot now. In the right side and left side, we have results for two blur traces displayed in side by side. And while previewing the results for two blur traces side by side, you can actually quickly adjust smoothing and artifact suppression and check how your changes affect the image, and you should to see smoothing and artifact suppression. And what about duplicate blur traces? Duplicate blur traces is meaning that you should to drag a blur trace onto the add suggested blur trace icon, and Photoshop actually creates a copy of the blur trace and looks the duplicate copy. And creating duplicate copies of blur traces is helpful, by the way, when you want to quickly adjust smoothing and artifact suppression and preview how your changes affect the image, and you should to see smoothing and artifact suppression, like this screenshot now. Working with duplicate blur traces. And how to reuse blur traces. Reuse blur traces. Once you have created blur traces, you can save them, and so that they can be applied to different images, by the way. And you have two options. Number one, you should select one or more blur traces. Number two, select save blur traces from the advanced panel flyout menu, and you can save blur traces in two formats, KNL and PNG, by the way. And when you want to reuse the saved blur traces for a different image, you can use actually the load option in the advanced panel flyout menu, like this screenshot again. Saving and loading blur traces, and you should to choose load or save workspace or save blur trace. And what about advanced blur trace setting? Advanced blur trace setting help you further fine tune camera check reduction. And what about blur trace bounds? Is meaning that the blur trace bound setting represents the bound size of the blur trace, and you can adjust this value if necessary. And what about source noise? Source noise is meaning that, by the way, Photoshop automatically estimates the amount of noise in the image, and if necessary, you should select a different value, like auto on low or medium on high. And what about smoothing? Smoothing is meaning that you should smoothing reduce high frequency sharpening noise, and you can move the slider to a value different from the default 30%, and a smoothing setting is recommended. What about artifact suppression? What about artifact suppression? It's meaning that, by the way, sometimes in the course of sharpening the image, you may observe some noticeable noise artifacts, and follow these steps now to suppress these artifacts. You should select artifact suppression, and note that and be careful. When artifact suppression is not turned on, by the way, Photoshop generates chaos previews, and chaos previews are sharper, but they also have more noise artifacts. And adjust the artifact suppression slider to a higher value. 100% artifact suppression yields the original image, and while 0% artifact suppression doesn't suppress any noise artifacts. And artifact suppression works best to suppress medium frequency noise, by the way, like this screenshot now. Artifact suppression, you should to find here now. And we have noise artifacts also, yeah.